text me. You have my phone number, and I don't see your text. I apologize about that. I'm going to try to pay attention to the live chat. Any questions about this topic? Because I know a lot of people disagree with me on this. But believe it or not, there's a lot of people in that community that do agree with some of the things that I'm saying. Especially when you got doctors on there saying that there's no, that water is not a nutrient or a micronutrient. But anyway, I got some audios I want you guys to listen to, and then we're going to talk about these things. Because if you remember from my previous videos with us talking about cancer and cancer treatment, we talked about B17. We talked about the importance of having a strong immune system and building up, your body by putting the things that your body needs in order to fight this illness. And I want you to listen to some healthcare, not some healthcare. I want you to listen to some professionals and some different opinions other than the pharmaceutical companies, and we can talk about that more, right? So, again, always diversify your portfolio. So, always diversify your portfolio when you're talking about how to go about treating your cancer if you actually have it. It's important because doctors aren't always telling you the truth. There's a lot of shady stuff going on in a lot of these hospitals that you guys don't know about. So, first video we're going to be looking at is a video called the natural cancer treatments that work. Once you guys listen to some immunotherapy things that he's talking about here, then we'll chime in on it.
I talked about some of the more natural therapies for cancer and ones that certainly aren't mainstream, but in your research that you found to be effective.
Sure. The best treatment that I have come across.
And one of the things that I want to point out, if there are people out there who actually disagree with me on what I'm saying about the cancer treatment stuff, these videos are on YouTube. These articles,
YouTube videos,
are written all over the internet. We live in an information age, but you can actually get a hold of this information. And if you disagree with it, you can point out your reasons why you disagree with it. The only difference is, since this is such a serious issue, about our health and how we take care of our bodies and everything, I highly recommend you do a little bit of research if you don't know that much about the topic.
15 years of research is a treatment called Life One. Now, Life One is not marketed as a cancer treatment. It's marketed as an immune stimulant. What have we talked about? Cancer treatments that are good cancer treatments, they are immune stimulants. Because that's how you cure cancer, is to get your immune system back where it can fight the cancer naturally.
That cracks me up. A lot of people make these negative videos about me saying that, G-Man doesn't understand cancer. But I didn't just say that. Again, this is yet another different.
So let me kind of break a few things down, folks. Your immune system is a wondrous thing, and it can work on issues that are considered endogenous. Now, your immune system has certain receptors that it will recognize. One of them is the major histocompatibility complex 2. If there's an issue with that particular receptor because of the cancer, then your body will recognize that and launch an immune response. If there isn't anything overtly, telling about a potentially cancerous cell, then your body cannot actually recognize that. That's one of the reasons why we need cancer treatments, is because our bodies don't recognize their cells. It doesn't recognize the self as dangerous. The best prevention of cancer are the cells themselves going through apoptosis. And that's something that gets left out of these conversations by people who don't actually want to go and, fucking read.
Your immunity, you would never go to these doctors, and they know this. Cancer treatment is very big business in the United States.
Where it should have been before you got the cancer. So that's what Life One does. It's a combination of 8 or 9 really potent natural herbs. A liposomal base, which is a fat base that allows your digestive tract not to eat up the good stuff before it gets into your immune system. Basically, it's kind of a synopsis of the way it works.
I'm not even sure what he just said. Like, it doesn't allow your intestines not to eat up all the good stuff before it gets to your immune system. I'm not sure what biochemical pathway he's trying to talk to, but the way that he talks about an immune system, it sounds like there's like a fight by the immune system with the rest of your body to partition resources, and that, I guess, in the form of nutrients. I mean, if you're malnourished, well, you're just going to be malnourished. But that's a very interesting statement. When I'd be hard pressed to say that he actually has something to back up that claim. And as far-fetched as it sounds, I'm pretty sure he's going to say something even more ridiculous. But you know what? Maybe he has some evidence for it.
Helps to mitigate the effects of the radiation you're getting, because no matter what you hear on the mainstream news, Fukushima's still going. So we're still getting radiation from Fukushima, Japan. The United States is still blowing it.
Okay, so folks, I'm not sure what radiation from Fukushima has to do with this, but you receive ample amounts of radiation from minor things all the time. Even walking outside, you get radiation. Just saying you get radiation does not mean that you have some type of, I don't know. Let me actually name something specific. If you go outside long enough and you stand in the sun, you'll be hit by UVB radiation. And that UV radiation will cause something called thymine dimers. The thymine dimers causes basically a bump in your genetic code when you have thymines next to each other, and they ended up forming a weak bond with one another. You have molecules called polymerases that will come through and try and correct that. But what they'll end up doing is cutting one of the thymines out, and then they won't replace it with a proper thymine. They'll replace it with something else, and that will cause a mutation event. Now, this doesn't always happen, but you can only imagine that if you have millions of cells that are exposed to this radiation and this happening over and over again, the chances of one of these mutation events increases, the longer you're outside, or the longer you're exposed, I should say. So be very wary of people who are trying to tell you about these things, but they're not actually telling you the mechanism. Like, no one has to always go into the molecular aspect of this, but if they're making some claims and they're saying that these things are against the conventions of science, it will probably help if they actually knew how cancer actually happens in the first place.
That's not allowed to tell the truth about products because the FDA regulates.
So, right, and that's why in the beginning of this video I had to say what I was saying in the beginning. They have rules about what you can say about cancer treatments and whether or not something is able to cure, diagnose, or heal you from anything.
Yes, because legally, when you're talking about trying to cure something, that is not the same thing as treating something. When you're talking about the field of medicine, there is a lot of legalese involved in that, because you're talking about people's well-being, people's welfare. And yes, there has to be regulation on how we treat people, because any old quack can get up there and give you some ginger root and claim that it cures cancer and bilk people for millions of dollars.
This is a cancer cure, but it's not regulated. It's not approved by the FDA. It'll be shut down. Can't tell the truth. It reminds me of a story about 10 years ago that the FDA sent cease and desist letters to cherry growers.
It cracks me up because the FDA also approves a lot of these medicines. If you guys are home like during the daytime, yeah, some of my older viewers, you might know what I'm talking about, because some of the younger viewers may not be home, work all the time. But it's really funny because they'll have this medicine that's supposed to cure, like, that's supposed to treat like your Alzheimer's, or be able to treat like your osteoporosis or whatever, right?
Okay.
But it comes with a few side effects, nosebleeds, ulcers. You might get dizziness. You might get you might get all of these things all of above. But they want you to take this pill. Yeah, it'll help ease like some of the pain that you're going through. But you're going to be suffering from all these other weird side effects and whatnot. But the FDA will approve that. But the FDA won't come out and say, hey, let me tell you something about vitamin C. And what vitamin C will do if you take this.
Well, here's the thing. The FDA regulates medications that people issue, like people like doctors. You can get vitamin C at a store. The FDA doesn't need to necessarily regulate something that is not artificial in that sense. So it's weird, because at some point he knows the difference between prescription medicine and a fucking orange. You can OD on an orange if you want to, but the FDA, I would believe that people would understand that, well, I'm eating too many oranges. But it's such a weird tangent that a lot of these guys go on. And if you're concerned that the FDA is over-regulating something, well, I would definitely want to look into uh, what type of stipulations that they have when they validate certain medications. Now, if you are talking to your physician and your physician is well trained, they're going to tell you everything that you want to know if you know how to ask questions. And in fact, in certain states, the physician is required to spend a certain amount of time with you just on patient education. Um, if as someone, and I've noticed this with a few of these yahoos, they haven't been to doctors in years unless, well, one of them gets a UTI so bad that it paralyzes them. Then they might have to visit a physician. Amazingly, their staunch positions on modern healthcare always seem to stop when they're in dire straits. I don't know what that's about, but I find that very interesting. So even Tommy Hall himself says that once he gets cancer, if he gets cancer, he'd end up going to a doctor. Again, that I find that very interesting for people who are so adamant that there's this, biomedical machine, the super pharmaceutical companies that are only after money and they don't care about your health. Well, okay, you can go live in the woods. That's it's not a surprise that in a capitalistic society you have certain organizations that are looking for money. But besides that, uh, yes, medicine has side effects. That is why a lot of industries are looking towards personalized medicine. We understand that while our bodies work very similarly, we have very dramatic differences with the way that we go about, taking care of our bodies. So, having a one-size-fits-all treatment or cure for massive amounts of people isn't the most efficacious. So that requires us to boost our efforts into improving medicine overall, which, funny enough, some of us had an off-air hangout discussing that. And we should probably actually have some on-air hangouts talking about personalized medicine and the direction that the medical field is going in. But people who can barely fucking read and write are the last people that need to talk about the direction that medicine is going in, since they are the furthest from it.
70 to 75% water, and your body is not getting the amount of water that it needs every single day, right? What do you think is going to happen? You're going to start feeling fatigued. It's going to hurt when you go to the bathroom. These are all medical problems. Okay, you're going to notice that that your blood's going to start getting thicker. You're going to become dizzy. A lot of problems that happen if you don't give your body enough water. It's like if you only
that's an odd statement that your blood would get thicker, considering that the majority of your blood is plasma, and then the platelets, and then the plasma is mostly water. So why would the blood get thicker? But I guess, I guess I see what he's saying. If you take the water out of, if you boil the water off of like Coca-Cola, it looks thicker. Maybe that's what he's saying. But I guess I'm looking at it as far as volume goes. But I don't. Maybe he'll elaborate on that a bit more.
It holds water in your body. And some of us, like I sometimes have a problem when I'm running, when I'm sweating too much and I lose my water too fast. When I'm out there running, because I don't get enough sodium in my diet before I go out there and I run.
And that should tell you something. If you're not getting enough electrolytes and you're losing too much water, why are you giving health advice to other people? And that's something every person who's ever worked out, I'm not really sure. This is weird.
But if you make that claim, somehow those cherries become, they transmutate into a drug. And so now the FDA governs those drugs. You haven't gotten approval by the FDA to sell your drugs, so you're going to get shut down. It's not a free country. It just has the appearance of being a free country.
Amen.
So that's one. Life one's a great treatment. Marijuana's a great treatment for cancer. Hemp. Not smoking it, but the hemp oil.
Okay, yeah, I've heard this a lot, and this needs to be addressed. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I was thinking of volume, not actual thickening and thinning. So I'd misheard him on that. So now, having symptoms relieved is not the same thing as treating cancer. You can treat a disorder by treating the symptoms, but that doesn't mean that the disorder itself has been relieved. And I think people confuse that a lot. And I can't remember the name of the guy. He does he promotes Electric Universe and that whatever that silver stuff is. I can't remember what it is, but he is also one of these people who conflates treating the symptoms with actually like treating the disorder itself. So stopping the cancerous cells themselves is different than treating the symptoms you get from having cancer.
You take some olive oil, some pure olive oil, and you put it on the same part of your body after you clean up that nasty Vaseline or whatever, right? Your body will actually be moisturized, and it won't clog up your pores. And it's all natural. It's just a big difference when you go all natural versus using these chemicals. There's a big difference between drinking. I don't know how many of you have ever drunk a soda where it didn't have sugar in it, and it just has bare science in it. It's usually water.
That's what?
And a whole bunch of words that you can't even pronounce in your soda. Versus another soda that has sugar, water, caramel, you know what I mean? And all natural like ingredients in your soda. You just taste the difference. A lot of people don't like Pepsi One or Coke or that Pepsi One or that Pepsi free nasty garbage. It tastes like it just tastes horrible. It's not natural. But then if you get a soda,
I don't know what natural soda is. Has anyone seen a soda tree?
but it's just better for your body. Just like there's a difference between going out there eating a carrot and going eating and then having a Twinkie. You're going to get more nutrients eating that carrot, a lot more fiber eating that carrot, getting more vitamin C from eating that carrot, a lot of more beta carotene from eating that carrot than you're ever going to get from eating a Twinkie, which offers you nothing.
National Institutes of Health back in 1971 or 72 did a study at University of Virginia Medical Center, and they were trying to prove that cancer, or that marijuana, hemp, causes cancer.
I'm sorry, I have to correct myself with something that I was saying. You will get something from a Twinkie. I apologize about that. You'll get fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol.
The problem with their study is that they showed that it 40 kinds of cancer it actually cures. So they buried the study and didn't spread it to anybody. They didn't want that information getting out because, like the Flexner report, the predetermined outcome of that was to show that pot causes cancer. So there's another reason for the war on drugs, which is a farce, by the way. However, the study showed the scientists that did it actually, I guess they didn't.
From cholesterol from the Twinkies, he was saying.
They came out and they released a report that cancer is actually, cancer are cured by the hemp oil, the THC in hemp. So they buried that study. And since that time, there have been studies in Japan, Sweden, Norway.
Tell me something, ladies and gentlemen. Is there any other groups on the internet that we know of that are just not even taking any of this stuff seriously? Is there a group of people out there that go out there and say, well, B17 is not something that you should consider, that you shouldn't consider hemp oil, that you shouldn't consider building your immune system or anything like that? Is there another community out there saying the exact same things? And they're saying, look, go out there and get radiated and let people cut you open and take things out your body. You think about it. That's all your options.
Well, yeah, people go to the doctors and get cut on all the time. It's called biopsies. I mean, there's plenty of reason to let someone cut on you. It's just the purpose of them doing it. I mean, context is kind of important, but whatever.
Limited in their knowledge. They will never grow as a full human being to live up to their full potential because they just suppress information.
Across the board, even actually Harvard Medical School.
Someone's upset.
Did a study on hemp. Showed that it kills 3 or 4 different kinds of cancers. It causes cancer cells to commit apoptosis, which is just a fancy word for a cell death.
Apoptosis.
Cells die periodically, and it causes cancer cells to kill themselves. Okay, so there have been numerous studies on the way that it kills cancer. But why is pot illegal now? Because of Randolph Hearst and who was the other guy back in the 1940s. Hemp oil was sold in pharmacies until the 1930s. And then, see,
I mean, you know what else was sold at pharmacies too? Cocaine.
Still get hemp oil in the United States. You can get a lot of these natural ingredients in this country. I found out how you can get B17. And, well, not from here, I think. Or international. But you can get a lot of these alternatives to cancer. I'm telling you, if I'm ever diagnosed with it, I'm not getting chemotherapy.
Good.
And I'm certainly not letting nobody cut me over.
Great.
I've already made my mind up about that. I'm going to put this information into action
Good.
and do what I need to do, because I know at the end of the day, it's not the cancer killing people. It's the fact that it's destroying your immune system, and it's the fact that your body is so toxic out. That's what's actually killing you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And it's the treatments. Most of the time, it's the treatments. It's the chemotherapy that they're giving you.
The only thing people get is chemotherapy and surgery.
Make clothes from it. You can use it in it's the best paper source. As a matter of fact, I think that
Someone mentioned that bottle of apple juice. Now I'm looking at it. That thing needs to have been thrown away like yesterday.
Paper than 10 acres of trees. Hemp is the best source. As a matter of fact, the Declaration of Independence is written on hemp. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, they grew hemp.
What does this have to do with medical science?
It's a great oil. The candles that they used back at Lincoln's Day.
I want you guys to take into consideration what he just said, because look at how cancer has risen in our country as of late. You know what I mean? In the rise, with the rise of all of the electronical advancements, not the electronical, the scientific advancements that we have made in this country, microwave, and a lot of times, one of these days we're going to be talking about what happens when you microwave your food.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
The food is not as healthy to eat no more.
What does it do, G-Man?
Just take time out to warm your food up naturally. I do not own a microwave, and I don't want to get a microwave.
You warm it up on the range, on the stove? Because I've definitely seen
with the
trees
with cell phones
stoves,
coming about,
stoves and ranges.
You got that heat, that radiation coming through your phones, and you're just doing this, and it's cooking your brain. You can feel the heat coming from the phone. This phone right here I have right here, this J7, generates a lot of heat.
It's
and
the heat.
That's why I always have to put this on speakerphone. It just bothers me when I close to my head.
It's not the
technological advancements.
It's not the microwaves. It's the heat.
You know, people dumping the stuff in the water, pouring stuff. These factories putting stuff in the air and whatnot. No wonder cancer is on the rise. It's because of these scientific breakthroughs and irresponsible people not disposing of these things properly. And then when we talk about building up your immune system to fight the toxins that are in the air, the toxins that's in the water, and the horrible stuff that's in the food that will get you sick, you know what I mean? All of the radiation that you got to go through, people want to look at you and laugh at you. And it's usually because they don't know nothing about the topic.
Like, it was hemp oil. It's so versatile. There are actually over 300.
They've actually done studies about radiation from cell phones, folks. It's publicly available. It's not heat. That's not what they were studying.
People were using it medicinally. It also was cutting into the profits of Randolph Hearst, who owned.
Yeah, I agree, Bobby.
And so,
it's
but
the
he
heat.
not only owned the newspapers, he owned the hemp group. It was cutting into his profits. So again, you look back. What's the reason
I kind of figured he was going to go with the cell phone move, but I wasn't expecting heat.
And then they came out with that absurd movie, Reefer Madness, where people that smoke pot go out and rape women and kill people. Okay, that doesn't happen.
Somebody asked me a question in the live chat about radiation. Is that an option? Yes, it is an option. This gentleman here that's speaking right now said that he was receiving radiation. He says he also is working hard to build his immune system.
Wait, radiation is okay, but chemotherapy?
He's not just listening to the big pharmaceuticals.
What?
And not looking at other alternatives.
Huh?
You know, people can hate me to their blue in the face.
Wait, so
comes to your health.
So radiation is okay, but chemotherapy isn't okay.
Educate yourself about alternatives.
I'm so confused.
Can't afford great healthcare.
Or maybe I'm mishearing.
The government is getting cheap with that.
Maybe because I misheard him earlier. Maybe I misheard him again.
Educated about how to treat these ailments that you're going through.
I do, Peter.
It doesn't happen. I know guys in college that used to smoke pot. Okay. All they do is they sit back and eat a bag of.
I was joking around with a family member today, and I was like, maybe I should just go to Canada because Canada, from what I understand, have free healthcare. Why is it that in Canada these people have all this free healthcare and they can receive these treatments for free, but we come to
now Canada has free healthcare,
and a kidney and a heart and a half of our heart in order to get treatments for these things. Ridiculous.
Who doesn't watch TV? They didn't do anything. They never committed any crimes. And I know lots of guys. Not the one guy that I know that used to smoke pot that ever committed a crime. They just eat.
I have religious reasons on why I don't believe that people should be smoking pot because it alters your
But you're promoting it in this video.
Your perception of things. But they have medical marijuana that you can take, and I guess that would be different if you're taking it
Really?
For the purposes of
So that's THC in it.
to heal yourself of an illness or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not against that because I believe intent plays a large role in it too. If you're taking it for recreational purposes, what exactly are you seeking to do? So for religious reasons, I'm actually against smoking marijuana. But if you have an illness and somehow you think it can help you, explore it and do it until your illness is gone.
So
Eat.
what?
And that's why hemp so good for cancer patients.
That makes no sense. You're against it, but you're not against it, but you are against it.
Gives the patients an appetite if they're able to smoke it. Smoking it causes them to
the
get
mental
munchies.
gymnastics here, folks, is amazing.
Call it when you get hungry.
And the reason why that's so important is because cancer patients, depending how far they are into it, chemotherapy, these people don't have the desire to eat. You really gotta be positive around them. Try to promote them to eat as often as possible. As a matter of fact, if you're a big person, and I've seen it here because my neighbor's downstairs, my neighbor's wife downstairs actually has cancer. And for a while she was really big and she was eating. She was getting chemotherapy and she was eating. Now she's at a stage where she lost a lot of weight. She's having a hard time eating right now. You know what I mean? And
yeah, because chemo kind of makes you vomit.
Give your body what it needs to fight this illness. So if smoking marijuana is going to give you the munchies, it causes you to eat and give you an appetite, then by all means. However, make sure you're doing it for the purposes, you know what I mean,
so weed is okay
to treat the illness
as long as it's for medicinal purposes.
You have to get smoke. And so
get that good kush.
Patients a lot of times will die from what's called cachexia, which is the wasting syndrome. In their body, they get so skinny, they look like a Holocaust victim.
They look like G-Man.
Because they're not hungry. They can't hold down food. They're always throwing up. The pot causes you to get an appetite, and it also causes you to not throw up.
Well,
so
it suppresses the nausea.
On medicinal marijuana are able not only start killing their cancer with the hemp, but they get an appetite and they no longer throw up. It's a wonder drug for cancer, but it's
it's just better to get the hemp oil than get the hemp oil without going through the marijuana itself. That would be just as good. But the hemp oil is not the only thing that can naturally fight cancer either. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned this before, you can take shark cartilage or you can take shark liver oil. And it is a good way to create an appetite for yourself and for the and have the shark liver oil.
Didn't someone
fight the cancer
look up the shark liver oil? Wasn't there carcinogen in shark liver oil?
So that's one video that I want to show.
I didn't look that up, but I want to say we looked into that.
Talking about vitamins.
Don't quote me on that.
Another one that deals with vitamin C. That deals with vitamin C. I want you guys to look at. Okay, this video here. Let me just talk about this in general, and then I'm gonna take your questions and try to answer.
Oh, please ask him questions, folks. Please ask him questions.
I just want to say this though. I'm not doing this because I want to show people how smart I am. I'm not doing this to boast and brag about.
Ask him what medical school he went to.
I am genuinely and sincerely being.
Ask him how he knows any of this is actually legit.
Like I said, it's on the net. I just don't think people are doing their research to see it. You know what I mean?
Ask him how many scientific papers he's read.
I can do a seminar here if you guys want to talk about what each individual vitamin and mineral does in your body. Of course, that will be an insanely long video because there are over 72 or 82 different minerals and trace minerals, and then you have a bunch of vitamins and minerals, a bunch of vitamins, and also herbs that you can take. That would be great for your body. And it would take a long time to explain all those things.
Oh, good.
Not to mention, I would need my notes in front of me to do something like that. Don't have all that memorized.
So, vitamin C.
That's the difference between salt water and fresh water.
Toxic planet. And it is documented that you can cure the incurable when you use enough vitamin C. So if you start out with the idea that you want to...
Now, the funny thing is what he's saying is just true. A lot of times when I get the common cold, I don't go for antibiotics. See, some people are just...
Because it's probably a virus.
...to run to the antibiotics.
I actually agree.
They don't understand that when you're suffering from the common cold, you can get chicken noodle soup. You can drink orange juice.
Well,
you can drink lemon water.
Well, okay, let me... Oh, shit, what is this? Fuck that.
The way they need to work.
Okay, so when most people get the common cold, like the rhinovirus, whatever, it's more than likely a virus. So, no, you shouldn't go to antibiotics because, well, it's antibiotics. Antibiotics don't do anything to viruses. And yes, people, especially older physicians, tend to do that, and that's part of the problem. Is that they're actually had a conversation with a few physician assistants about this, and that there was an issue where people were just being given antibiotics just to kind of pacify them, basically, because they got so used to just, you know, consuming that and then believing that, you know, hey, I'm cured. No, it doesn't work like that. So yes, you can just wait for it to pass, wait for your immune system to kick in, but it's not for the reasons that G-Man thinks. That's, I mean, it has to actually do with when you needlessly consume antibiotics, you're clearing out your microbiome. You have beneficial microorganisms within your body that help you digest, and they help you maintain homeostasis. And so you clearing out that good bacteria is not a good thing. Women end up getting yeast infections, actually, because the specific, I'm trying to think, it's lactobacillus of some type. I can't remember exactly what type, but there's a specific type of lactobacillus that reside within women's vaginas, and that if they start taking a lot of antibiotics, they could end up being more susceptible to yeast infections, because those beneficial bacteria end up acting as, you could kind of say, like a guard against yeast from taking over. So in their vaginas.
And they're not trying to like how can I put this? They're not trying to live an active lifestyle. They're trying to, like, be at the
Trying to live my best life.
healthy weight limit. You know what I mean? So let me play some more of the video.
Now we're being told, no, that's not true anymore. That we all need more D. When we talk about vitamin C, the fight will be what is the most.
I can't understand anything this guy's saying.
Now you guys got to understand something. There's a reason why they're not pushing the importance of having vitamin D and vitamin C. Why you shouldn't be taking hemp oil and all these other things on that. Take a guess. I want you to guess right now why they don't want you taking care of your body. Population control. They want you to die. Oh, I got some goodies coming up on this shit.
Wait, so if they want you to die, then how do they bilk you for thousands of dollars? That doesn't make any sense. So if you're saying that there's a scheme to kill people, well, why would you treat their illness? Why wouldn't you just kill them outright? I'm kind of confused here, because that's not a really efficient way to get people's money. It's kind of hard for them to give you money if they're dead.
We're taking it as a supplement, because as good as our food is, we can't push up.
God, he is dumb.
That we've learned with all of Linus Pauling's work, and he was my mentor. He was the one that got me to the learning that I had to be on 15 to 20,000.
I swear he's repeating everything off of Hidden Colors.
So what we teach people is that to have a bright future, you need to have a simple stick. And this stick is called the Vitamin Check C. And it could be in any doctor's office, but it needs to be in your home. Because this way you'll find out, can you keep your urine?
He believes Alex Jones shit. Him and Veckel share that in common.
If you have a lot of C in your blood and you get wherever by a car, you're going to recover it half the time. You fall down the steps, recover it half the time.
You need a strong immune system in order for your body to heal fast. Like, for example, you get a cut and you have a strong immune system, that cut's going to heal a lot faster. That's what he's talking about. You get struck by a vehicle and you get surgery put on you or something like that, because you might have some permanent damage or something like that. You're going to heal faster. A strong immune system is vital in living in this society.
I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
And all the carcinogenic materials in your food and in the air and radiation and everything that's going on right now. The stronger your immune system is, the less likely you're going to get sick. And again, some people are going to look at this video and say, gee, man, who told you if you have a stronger immune system, you won't get sick?
Get to the friggin' frogs day. Get to the friggin' frogs day.
You're going to have a better effect if you have
Dr. Tyrone Hayes, my man.
To see if it's coming out of the urine. So if anybody stands in the green range,
yes, he is anti-vax. Hold on. he's teetering. Excuse me, he is teetering. He spoke to Jade, and Jade spoke some sense to him way back when.
An antioxidant. We just used to call that a vitamin C deficiency, otherwise known as scurvy. Today we know that unless you keep up and these upper
Interesting fact about scurvy in prison, when
He knows science better than me.
they give you just
I don't know shit.
Just enough nutrition. Just enough nutrition to keep you above scurvy.
noises, all other efforts to stay young.
I shove bananas up my ass. I don't know what I'm doing. I go in the lab. I mix Kool-Aid. Y'all seen it.
Very achievable without bringing the vitamin C level up. But it gets very confusing because you can't put this level out of many forms of vitamin C because they upset your stomach. So I was very sensitive to C, so we developed one called Bioenergy C. It has ribose and trimethylglycine and methyl sulforaphane and other special.
No. Right now he's promoting a supplement, and this is why I gave my disclaimer in the beginning of the video. I don't necessarily agree with everything that I'm hearing, but I will say this though: it is important to get high levels of vitamin C in your body, and high levels of vitamin D, and getting all of the vitamins and nutrients that you need in your diet every day. The fact of the matter is, we don't always get what we need in our body, and that's why we get headaches. That's why we suffer from a lot of the things that we go through.
Someone should ask him what happens when you have too much vitamin D or vitamin C in your body.
Vitamin C is an antioxidant, and antioxidants prevent you from getting cancer.
Huh?
Like that's vitamin C 101. It's because of the oxidation process, but I'll
explain
talk about
it.
that sometime.
Yes, explain oxidation. Yes. Ooh. Okay, so I was hoping he would go into a little bit more detail. People have seen blueberries are superfruits, and this is a superfruit, and this is an antioxidant. I know you've seen that stuff before. Long story short, there are certain molecules in your body called free radicals, right? Very electronegative. They tend to do asshole things to other molecules in your body and stuff that you don't want to happen. I'm not going to get into the molecular aspect of this too much. So what antioxidants do they end up binding a lot of these free radicals. Well, these free radicals are there because they are a part of your regular metabolism. They get produced as a side effect of you just maintaining homeostasis. So you need a good balance of them. They need to exist, but you can't also have too much, antioxidants, because you'll end up inducing what's known as antioxidant stress. So feel free to look that up, antioxidant stress. So that's one thing that people kind of leave out of this conversation, is that you just can't load up on antioxidants and think that you're just going to be good to go. No, you actually do need some of those free radicals. They do serve a purpose. So balance is the key, folks. And actually, I don't know, looking into, books, literature, that might help.
Now, I'm not making this video to debate anybody.
Wait.
I'm just putting this video out.
Wait, hold on, wait. No, Ronnie, no drag. Ronnie said these free radicals are oxygen atoms. Remember, you need to oxidize them oxygens. Oh, God.
You absolutely no information whatsoever about how to take care of your body whatsoever.
There are free radicals that are oxygens, but that's not all they are. Not all of them are oxygen, rather.
Okay, and look up this information for yourself. That's what you guys tell me to do all the time. I'm asking you to do the same.
So when somebody did the studies,
why not do?
Vitamin C didn't work, they cheated too late. They only gave you vitamin C for a little while and then they stopped.
I really want him to talk about oxidation.
This is a lifetime commitment. And they didn't bother to give it to you in the vein. Now the confusion starts when you understand that vitamin C in the vein is.
It sounds like some old man, and it's really horrible audio quality. I can't hear the dude.
I don't care what you're fighting, any kind of cancer, that can get your level of vitamin C up high enough, the cancer cells will start to commit suicide. That's documented in research again, right?
It sounds like he said that vitamin C will cause cancer cells to commit suicide, apoptosis. That's what it sounds like that he's trying to say. It's really hard to tell.
They already know what the answer to that is. The answer is that they gave me liquid antibiotics, and I was taking the pill form of the antibiotic. The put the antibiotics in my IV, and they put the antibiotics.
He's talking about his UTI.
In the pill form or whatever. The only reason I couldn't just get up and decide to go take cranberries or something like that to fight my UTI whatever that I had was because I was in the hospital. And I do have the attitude of taking both when necessary in extreme situations. Okay? You never heard me say on here that, as a matter of fact, I was even questioned on a channel that disagrees with this channel regarding this. If a person had a severe case, what would you do? Well, if you can't afford to take a higher dose of the natural sources, then you have to do both. If you absolutely must have chemotherapy, make sure you're really putting the time and the energy to build your immune system.
Look at that.
Make sure you do that. You know what I mean? And if you wanted to avoid that altogether, just stop eating the garbage and just put bare nutrition in your body.
Okay, so is that what you were doing?
By taking it low, even though this is a unique political system, it can come as close as it's possible. It's still a long way from what you get when you put it today.
I love the guy who can't even keep his own health together is now lecturing people who can. Like I don't. This is what I love about CCP members. He couldn't even keep his own dick clean, but he's talking about people that need to live healthy and they're doing this to their bodies. And I have never run across a motherfucker, even as a combat medic, who got a UTI that bad. And I've met some dirty dick dudes, and that's how they roll. But my goodness, like if you are going to try to be like the pinnacle here and the standard for what people need to do and be the bulwark against bad science and all that, at least try and live that way, because this is absolute fucking hilarity right here.
I have to look that up. Again, I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I do not necessarily agree with everything that I'm hearing in these videos.
That's why we ask you not to.
That's interesting. Neither do I.
You have cancer, because these sugar receptors feed the cancer. But vitamin C looks almost unlike.
How do you get a UTI? Doing naked push-ups and cat piss.
It's like a Trojan horse. Now the vitamin C is inside the cell. And when it's inside the cell, the metabolism that must go on, for life to go on, we must metabolize things every day. And when we metabolize things, we go through hydrogen peroxide, giving you a form of oxidative therapy that uses.
Okay, so he is talking about forming hydrogen peroxide in your body by taking vitamin C. He's not saying inject hydrogen peroxide in your body. That's why I was like, okay, let me just really listen to what he's saying here, because while I agree that it's good to build the immunity and get vitamin C in your body, he's on another level of understanding what science is talking about.
So, more natural approach to what we're doing.
Fiona, you ruined my joke.
And we're giving you forms of oxidative therapy. Now, the bad news is that IV vitamin C isn't going to cure everybody's cancer. It's going to buy you time. It's going to buy you quality of life. It's going to extend lifespan, but it's not going to cure everybody's cancer. So then you put to the point of what are all the other things you're going to do with it. And that has all the imponderables.
I didn't catch what the dude said about peroxide.
That the vitamin C will kill the cancer cells. And I got a little bit of criticism on a different video, and it was saying that there's a lot of things out there that kill cancer cells. There's nothing controversial about that. Well, number one, I wasn't trying to be controversial. You know what I mean? He said that it's not going to cure everybody's cancer, which is true. But what it will do is reduce the amount of cancer in your body, give you more energy. You'll be able to eat. You'll be able to live a stronger, normal life, and you might even prevent, your hair from falling.
Okay, so I think here we go. With him not understanding that having some results in a fucking tissue culture dish is not the same thing as it being efficacious for a person. Okay, and that's hard to communicate to people who have never been in the fucking lab. But it shouldn't be anything too, I guess, too strenuous to understand. If you have a normal cell that takes, I think I calculated mine took, but the doubling time for my cells in the lab were, I think, 31 hours PDT was 31 hours. Okay. If a cancer cell is more aggressive and it takes half that time, say 15 to 16 hours. Well, if the treatment that you are using it's only killing 3 or 4 of those cells every 10 hours. Well, are you gaining any net? Are you have any net gains with the treatment then? Like, how you actually need to kill more cells than cells are duplicating in order for it to be effective. I'm just giving you guys a general like overview of what you would kind of sort of want to aim for in any given scenario. So, you know, having some success in a tissue culture dish does not translate to it being successful in a human. And this is minus all the other variables that will come into play. But just to help illustrate this, and these guys aren't even trying to understand what counts as an efficacious treatment in the least. But then again, I'm my bad. I just tried to go to school and tried to learn something.
Well, it's working very hard.
Fuck me.
Inside this scenario. But it's confusing for the public because when I'm talking here on oral vitamin C, I'm still pretty much at the level that we call an antioxidant.
I'm not even sure if I calculated my PDT correctly. I gotta check that.
Now, here's the thing about this video on watching Christians that are watching. You know, I wish I could screen
Christian Science.
but we know what happens when we screenshot science. So I'm not going to do it. This guy has like an Illuminati eyeball on his thing and whatnot. And then he has some views that I agree with. And obviously he has views I don't agree with. I can actually go to some videos where this is community out there I don't particularly like right now, where they talk about the topic and I actually agree with some of the things that they're saying as well.
Someone was asking what the fuck they're talking about.
I'm just saying, guys, the only thing I really agree with what he's talking about is how it's important to build your immune system.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
It's very important to build your immune system. If you have cancer, if you have relatives in your family, if you have relatives, like maybe your mother, your father, both had cancer or whatever, before they had you, or something popular in your family that could be passed down or whatever.
Did you say popular?
That you might want to change your eating habits. Don't do the same thing parents did. Try to build your immune system so that you can avoid getting it all together.
That's not how that works.
People are ignorant that believe that if you build your immune system, that won't prevent you from getting cancer.
No,
there are some ignorant people
it
in there
won't.
That if you do diet and exercise, that it won't help prevent cancer.
No,
even though
now see, this is the shit that I'm talking about. He says it won't prevent cancer, and then the next statement he says won't help prevent cancer. There's a difference there, and this the sloppy fucking language is that what I really don't like, and that's what we're trying to address. You fucking idiot. You can eat as many oranges as you want a day. Every fucking banana you can get your hands on. If you have a genetic predisposition to fucking cancer, let's just choose Angelina fucking Jolie. BRCA1 and BRCA2. Guess whose mother fucking had the necessary mutations for it? Guess whose fucking grandmother also had that? Guess what fucking happened to them? It's almost like we have this shit down to a science. It doesn't matter. Angelina Jolie is in pretty good fucking shape. It doesn't matter. That's what these idiots don't get. Why do you think that there are billions of dollars spent on researching fucking cancer? If it was down to immune system, don't you think that there has been some type of progress in these areas? Hold on for a second. I did not realize that. Oh shit. Our good friend 13 Heathens has come out with his book today, folks. I am stepping on his dick. We're going to end this.
I got friends in this community that are big and have come a long way.
Let me get the link.
Since I first met them, you know what I mean? And those people deserve a round of applause. They're taking their health seriously. Then you got people in here who mock and scoff at people who try to take care of their body, try to prevent getting the
Is that what you tried?
Together. They don't understand carcinogens. They don't understand cancer. They don't understand having a strong immune system. They don't understand vitamins and minerals. They don't understand toxicity. They don't understand none of this stuff.
Tox titties.
You know, so I want to answer some questions that you might have.
All right.
Comment section.
We're going to have him answer some questions. I want folks to click on that link. 13 Heathens is doing good shit, folks.
I'm going to be giving invites for people to come in here in the future.
I know what the fuck he's talking about. After he answers some questions, I'm going to end this stupid shit, and I'm going to go hang out with 13 Heathens.
Kind Drunk, I uploaded that video with the link to the PayPal on my main channel if you want to see it, what you said earlier.
Tox titties.
Go on the G-Man channel, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Big old tox titties.
Vitamin J17. Let's see something here. Okay, so Mr. Pluto Dog has got a question here. Let's see what he's saying here.
Uh-oh.
I go through these.
MK wants to join G's Hangout. Oh, God.
Okay, Mr. Pluto Dog is saying, why go for these low-level cancer treatments? Why not just use the most powerful treatment, prayer? I use prayer in combination with the treatments that you do. You know what I mean? God is capable of healing all of us. But right now we're talking about cancer treatments other than like God or whatever. Right? Exactly. They'll scoff all they want. They're evil people. Exactly. These people see, I would never go to people like that for health advice. Because if all you're going to tell me is that you're reading this science book and that you're going to school, that's all you're saying in your videos. You're not teaching anybody anything and whatnot. You know what I mean? And all you're doing is trying to look smart in front of other people and not caring about people. No one cares about what you got to say regarding our health.
Well,
you know
quite a few people.
I have a lot of respect for people who got different religions to me that are good at talking about.
I did watch the Bond vid. That was funny. I don't believe in the race car, but you should use the race car. I'd use it. And then once they get to court, they'll find out what the real deal is.
Does anybody have any questions relevant to this video? Okay, Hazard says, so when a DNA-based test says that you have a 99% chance to get cancer, what does that show? Well, it means that you have a 99% chance of getting cancer. If you do what your parents were doing.
No, you fucking idiot.
All of that is dependent upon you doing the same thing that your parents had. Let's say that you got two parents that didn't take care of their body.
Oh my fucking God.
And they had a child, which was you.
Your genetics don't care what you eat. That's not how that works. Yes, your body gets impacted by what you eat. Yes, it will metabolize things differently. Yes, but your fucking genes don't go, oh, he ate a carrot. Let's make sure that we change these fucking bases to the correct one so he doesn't get fucking cancer. That's not how that works. Oh my God. This is the same dude who wanted me to make a video about genetics because he didn't understand the link between genetics and fucking diseases. Oh my God. But all of us don't know the fuck we talk. My bad. I got at least 2 semesters of genetics under my belt. Fuck me. So, okay. Did anybody have any actual questions about, you know, cancer and any of this shit? Because I can only take so much stupid per day, folks. There are people who actually listen to him and think that he actually knows the fuck he's talking about. That's the crazy part. That's funny. Let me put this link in here. My goodness. If it's something that I can't answer, folks, I will forward it to folks who do. Because it's not about sounding smart on the internet. It's about giving people accurate information to the best of your ability, not just pulling shit out of your ass. What's your question? Where's your question at? I'm on my phone. Ask him how does the cyanide group of the B17 molecule cure you have cancer? Well, oh, actually, Albald, I can actually answer that. So, yeah, Melissa, yeah, you're that's because you're not an idiot. Well, I've never seen you on my channel, Melissa. Welcome. But so get this. The reason I know why or how he's going to answer is because he takes all his information from Kent Hovind videos. I sat and I listened to a Kent Hovind video, and Kent Hovind explained the nitrile group that's on the amygdalin, and according to Kent Hovind, is that the cancer cell is wrapped in a protein, and that's what makes it different. It's like a protein sheath, kind of like a virus, and the amygdalin will only attack cells that have that protein sheath, i.e. the cancer cells. Now, I'm not sure who lied to him and told him that cancer cells have a protein sheath or a covering, because that's not a thing. But my goodness, it's baffling, folks. I really don't know how to even approach that, because I go to folks who are smarter than me along with me reading my own books and going to fucking class for, I don't know, 6 hours a day. But like, fuck me running, right? I have not, like, okay, let me tell you, the cells that I work with are an immortalized cell line. Okay, they've been transformed using part of what's known as an adenovirus. I've not observed any protein sheath on them. They appear to be, well, I can't say that they're all like homogeneous, because some of them do look kind of funky because they've been transformed. But that's after they've been passaged quite a few times and they become fucking huge. But not sure how the CN group discern the protein condom. Yeah, I don't, and that's what I'm trying to figure out about. But the way, and I have to find the video for you. But the way Kent Hovind explains it is that basically that nitrile group will somehow act as like a homing missile to the cancer cell that has the protein sheath on it, and only destroy that and not the regular cells who don't possess the protein sheath. And I'm like, my mind blew the fuck up. Like, man, I feel dumber for having listened to this. So I am going to torture the TA that's in my tissue culture class when I find that video, and I'm going to make him listen to it just to fuck with him, and then convince him to, you know, teach me a bit more about CRISPR technology and the other stuff that he does in his lab, because I am jealous.
I don't do the things that my parents do. Because this person smoked, this person smoked, this person smoked, this person smoked. I was likely to be doing the same things, but I got away from that.
Well, that's good. That's good. You have a healthy fucking lifestyle. Now keep your dick clean. So we're gonna look into what's Mr. 13 Shadows doing.
Good grief. Okay, I'm putting on the actual headset and switching audio. Give me a moment, folks.
Yes.
Because that will drown out the dogs.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can hop in here. Yeah, there we go. All right, folks, I'm gonna end this stupid shit. Oh, before I do, I'll give you guys a preview. Yeah, I'm naked. It's hot. I am going to make a video tomorrow, and it's going to feature my legal fees here. Since the CCP want to put me in jail, there we go. If G-Man's upset about recent events, then you know what? I'm going to play it up. Why the fuck not? So anyway, folks, stay tuned for that. I'm going to have some lulls. I'll catch y'all later. I'm heading over to 13's party.